I work with a student named Tom who engages in self-injurious behavior in the form of biting his arm. His arm and wrists are covered in callus, and I redirect his chewing behavior to his sensory chewy toy. Sensory needs are common, from picking at fingernails to twirling hair to listening to music. I work as a behavior therapist at a private day school, working with kids with autism spectrum disorder. They have a variety of sensory needs, and through learning about sensory chewy toys in their many forms, we address their benefits and limitations and see the impact it has on acceptance of sensory needs. I notice sensory chewy toys more now in their many shapes, materials, and textures. It's important to note what individuals bite on, whether they bite on their shirt collar or sleeve, they bite on themselves or others, or they bite on toys or pencils and pens. That's what they need a safe substitute for. AutismProducts.com, last updated in 2020, their products are made of FDA-approved silicone, as well as vinyl tubing or terry cloth to mimic straws or clothing fabric. ArcTherapeutic.com on November 29th of 2015 state in an article titled, "Why Does My Oldest Child Chew on Everything?" Speech and language pathologist Deborah C. Lowski states that their products come in several shapes that are long and slender enough to reach the back molar area, which provides the most proprioceptive input to jaw. AutismProducts.com, as previously cited, states that many of their products are dual purpose, meaning they support oral sensory and tactile fidget needs in the form of ridges and bumps or things to pull on. Sensory chewy toys are very helpful, but they also form a risk. According to healthychildren.org, in a post titled Sensory Integration Therapy, posted on October 7th of 2019 by the American Academy of Pediatrics, in children who have ASDs, some children may be hypersensitive or hyposensitive to stimuli in the surroundings. Hypersensitive being like neon lights and loud music, and increased sensitivity, and hyposensitivity would be lower sensitivity, like my kid who falls down and gets right back up because he doesn't feel pain the same way. As previously cited, ArcTherapeutic.com, Deborah C. Lowski, SLP, explains, short for self-stimulation, stimming is one way that individuals with sensory issues organize themselves and manage all the extra sensory information bombarding their senses. Sensory stimulation is common even in people without sensory processing disorders. You may have chewed gum during a test or chewed a pen cap or pencil while trying to concentrate on something. Chewing can be a very effective way to increase focus and block out other distractions, especially since it's a repetitive movement. The risks involved in using sensory chewy toys could be, according to the FDA.gov on December 20th of 2018, they issued an article titled "FDA Warns Against the Use of Teething Necklaces, Bracelets, and Other Jewelry Marketed for Relieving Teething Pain or Providing Sensory Stimuli, FDA Safety Communication." Serious risks such as chewing, strangulation, or injury to the mouth or infection. They prove choking hazards if beads become detached or cording becomes entangled. RileyChildren's.org also concurs. On March 29th of 2019, their IU Health senior journalist Maureen Gilmer articles titled "Chew on This, Teething Jewelry is Dangerous for Your Baby." Dr. Lakia Vinson, pediatric dentist with Riley Children's Health, said there's no such thing as a safe piece of teething jewelry. But they talked about babies and not older children or young adults with sensory stimulation. There are many risks and benefits to sensory stimulation jewelry. Users are in need of outlets. Chewies provides socially acceptable outlets. Inappropriate outlets would be like clothing or self or others or unsafe objects. AutismProducts.com offers a safe product in the form of chewing gum tubes. They're pieces on hoodies that are discrete uses of sensory toys you can chew on. And my favorite is always seeing the pencil toppers that you just put right on top of your pencil for sensory input. The acceptance of biting as a sensory need, it's not a want, it's a need that they have. So telling children to just stop chewing will not work. It's a sensory need and they need to be redirected to do something else, like chew on something safe. Deborah C. Lowski from Arc Therapeutics on April 11th of 2016, in her article, 10 Tips for Kids Who Need to Chew, an Oral Motor Sensory Diet, She gives an analogy of, imagine you were told you were taking deep breaths to calm yourself down, and someone came over to you and said, hey, stop that. That would be inappropriate because you're just trying to calm yourself down. That's what chewing is to many of these kids, a coping mechanism to regulate themselves. Sensory needs are strong, and acceptance of it as a sensory need is growing and addressed by sensory chewy toys. We address sensory chewy toys forms, their uses and benefits and limitations, but most importantly, that sensory chewy toys impact the acceptance of sensory needs in social norms. We discuss the materials and shapes, benefits, risks, and the use of toys throughout the day in socially acceptable ways. The child I work with, Tom, he came back to school from spring break and he had his chew in his mouth and his arm was healed. Thank you.